What's up YouTube? This is Buck with Buck and Chuck Gaming, coming at you with a new kind of video here on the channel. It's going to be all about the Souls series and how it's actually changed the landscape of gaming forever. So if you guys would go ahead and like, share, and subscribe, definitely appreciate it. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. How many games can you really say changed gaming forever? I'm not just talking about being a fantastic game, I'm talking about changing the landscape of the industry and creating a whole new genre as we know it. Now, to take it back in time a little bit, during the NES, the SNES, Genesis, the 8 16-bit eras there, games were they were pretty difficult, but a lot of times the difficulty wasn't really a skill-based thing. It's just kind of a cheap way of extending the game. And if anybody remembers some of the classics on the NES, they remember Turtles 1, that water level. Oh, that was terrible. Or the Battletoads hover bikes, that ring any bells for you? Yeah, those were some crazy levels. Now let's fast forward a bit now to the 2000s. Games were becoming much more mainstream, and therefore a lot of them being streamlined and some would even say dumbed down. I mean, it seems like a lot of modern games, especially in the late 2000s, around 2010 there, and even today, a lot of them have an autosave feature that seems like it's saving all the time. And there's a new checkpoint, seems like about every 5 feet. And back in 2009, Hidetaka Miyazaki, he changed all that when he created Demon Souls. And I don't know if any of you guys have played Demon Souls. It is a fantastic game. I mean, the game was punishing, but it was in a fair way. If you screwed up, it was on you. It wasn't something cheap or like the NES difficulty that so many people talk about. And Demon Souls, it was a moderate hit. Miyazaki's follow-up, Dark Souls, that's what really perfected the formula. And kind of what made Dark Souls popular, if you died once, you lose all your souls or basically experience. But you have a chance to recover it on the next life, but if you die again before you get back to the souls or your experience there, it's gone for good. And also, you can't just save it anytime you want. You can only save and level up at designated bonfires, aka save points there. And losing all your souls, I mean, that's just crushing if you had a lot of them before you can level up and actually be able to use them. And one more interesting point there is that the Soul series, it actually uses an autosave feature that we talked about. It'll actually use that against you. So you can't just reset the game anytime you want. Like, it's literally saving pretty much all the time. If you die, it's going to save. You screw up, it's definitely going to save that too. If you get killed before you reach your souls, accidentally fall to your death, it's going to save everything as soon as possible. You can't just turn off the system just to give it another go. Those souls are gone for good. I've lost probably upwards of almost 100,000 souls at one time, and it's crushing. But this actually, it creates one of the most rewarding risk versus reward loops in all of gaming. And do you backtrack and go power up, make it a little easier next time, or do you want to go ahead and go forward and go into the unknown and make some progress there? Like I said, risk versus reward. Do you risk it all and do that, or do you play it safe? And this gameplay loop that was so different and refreshing, it created a whole genre of games that we call basically the Souls-like genre. And games like the Surge 1 and 2, Code Vein, Blasphemous, Remnant, Neo 1 and 2, those all owe a huge debt of gratitude to the Souls series and Hidetaka Miyazaki overall. One of the elements that makes the Souls series so great, in my opinion, are the fantastic bosses. They're punishingly difficult, but they're oh so rewarding. And one of my favorites from the series is what you're actually seeing me play on the screen there now. That's the Nameless King. And when I took him down the first time, my initial playthrough, it probably took me 50 tries, I'd say at least, before I beat him. I learned a little bit each time, and then when I finally took him down for the first time, I wanted to run around the house and jump for joy, go around yelling. I'm a grown man in my 30s. I mean, these games have that kind of effect, and it feels, like I said, so good when you finally take down a huge boss or optional boss like we have here. We could also talk about other aspects that make the Soul series great, like the absolutely fantastic but sublime storytelling and the phenomenal world building. But other channels, I mean, you can go ahead and check out VaatiVidya or the Ashen Hollow. I mean, they have whole channels dedicated to just the lore and stories created by sometimes just, a single item or just a text box. And they cover everything way better than I could ever hope to. So definitely go check out their channels. They're definitely worth a follow and worth checking out. Some fantastic things in channels, and they definitely will teach you a lot about the history and the story and the lore of the Souls series. Everything I talked about in a nutshell is what makes the Souls game so special, and how they changed the industry and essentially created a new genre. I mean, they're right up there with games you think that create genres. Look at, Mario 64 was really the first 3D platformer. And you think about, Metroid creating the Metroid series, or Castlevania Symphony of the Night creating the Metroidvania series. Really, the Souls games are right up there with the Souls-like series. It says it all in the name. And then if you guys haven't checked out the series, I highly recommend you give it a shot. I know it's definitely not for everybody, but like I said, the risk versus reward loop, it's so rewarding that if it gets its hooks into you, I think you really will like it. Thanks a lot for watching today, guys. I'd really appreciate it if you would like, share, and subscribe. Definitely helps out the channel a ton, and I'd love any new subscribers. Love you. Go ahead and comment, interact with me. It'd be fantastic. We're trying to grow here at Buck and Chuck Gaming. Tomorrow, my daughter's actually going to be 4 months old, so that's pretty exciting. But it's causing me to not be able to upload as much as I'd like lately with just having a newborn around and everything. We're so blessed to have her, but it's a little harder to upload on a normal schedule. But I'm going to try and go ahead and get on one soon. And I should have a video coming up in the next week or so on Mega Man 2, so I hope you guys will enjoy that and check that out. Anyway, this is Buck with Buck and Chuck Gaming. Thanks a lot, guys. I'll see you again soon.